Let me say something many people don't talk about. Growth can feel lonely, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're becoming someone new. There comes a moment in life when the person you used to be no longer fits the life you're living, and the life you're growing into hasn't fully arrived yet. That space in between can feel incredibly lonely. If you've ever felt like your life is changing, like your priorities are shifting, like the conversations you once enjoyed no longer feel the same, you're not imagining things. You may simply be experiencing what I call the loneliness of becoming. And today I want to talk about this season of life that so many people go through, but very few people understand. Here at Dream Life Diaries, we talk about the real journey of becoming, not just the inspiring moments, not just the breakthroughs, but the quiet seasons of life when transformation is happening beneath the surface. Because becoming someone new doesn't always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels confusing. Sometimes it feels uncomfortable. And sometimes it feels lonely. You begin noticing things you didn't notice before. The conversations that once felt normal begin to feel draining. The environments that once felt comfortable begin to feel misaligned. The goals that once motivated you start losing their meaning. And this can make you question yourself. You start wondering, why do I feel so different lately? Why does my life feel unfamiliar? Why does it feel like I'm standing between two different versions of myself? But often these questions are not signs that something is wrong. They are signs that something inside you is evolving. One of the hardest parts of transformation is the season in between. You are no longer the person you used to be, but you are still discovering the person you are becoming. The life you used to live no longer fits, but the life you are growing into has not fully appeared yet. And this in-between space can feel incredibly uncertain, because you're standing between familiarity and possibility. Between the past you understood and the future you haven't fully discovered. Growth often creates distance, not always intentionally, but naturally. Your mindset begins changing. Your priorities begin shifting. Your perspective begins expanding. And when that happens, some relationships begin to feel different. Not because you stopped caring, but because your life is moving in a direction that requires new alignment. Sometimes, when God begins transforming a life, He starts by changing your awareness. You begin seeing things differently. You begin recognizing what strengthens your spirit and what quietly drains it. You begin noticing which environments support your growth and which ones hold you back. And that clarity can feel uncomfortable, because once you see things clearly, you cannot pretend not to see them. But sometimes that clarity is exactly how God begins guiding you toward the next chapter of your life. Not to isolate you, but to realign you. The loneliness of becoming is not meant to break you. It is meant to shape you. This is the season where your identity changes, where your priorities become clearer, where the person you are becoming begins to emerge. And while that process can feel uncomfortable, it is also where the deepest transformation happens. If you've been feeling lonely lately, if your life feels unfamiliar, if you feel like you're standing between the life you once knew and the life you're growing into, I want you to remember something. You are not losing your way. You are becoming. If this message resonates with where you are right now, like this video so it can reach someone else who may be quietly walking through the same season. And if you are navigating a season of transformation, subscribe to Dream Life Diaries, because this channel exists for the moments when life is rebuilding you into someone stronger. And I want to ask you something. Have you ever experienced the loneliness of becoming? Your story might encourage someone else today. And if this message resonated with you, the next video I recommend watching is called How to Become the Woman You're Becoming. Because once you begin changing, the next step is learning how to embrace the new version of yourself. You'll see that video on the screen right here. Sometimes the quietest seasons of life are the ones where the deepest transformation happens, because becoming someone new rarely feels comfortable at first. But one day, you realize the loneliness you once felt was simply the space where your new life was being formed. And that journey is what gentle rebuilding looks like.